Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a collision that is incredibly messy, legally complicated, and frankly, absolutely fascinating. We're talking about artificial intelligence, music creation, and current copyright law. Look, we are standing right on the edge of a massive technological turning point here, and what we decide today, it's going to shape human expression for decades. All right, let's dive right in by picturing this. Frank Sinatra belting out the early 2000s club hit Get Low by Lil Jon. Or imagine Johnny Cash doing a cover of Aqua's Barbie Girl. As wild as that sounds, these aren't parodies done by talented impersonators. No, they're entirely generated by AI voice clones in a matter of seconds. And the craziest part of all this, voice cloning is literally just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to what's happening right now in the music industry. So, this explosive technology forces us to ask a pretty crucial question. It's one that has artists, record labels, and lawyers fiercely debating right now. Are we witnessing the destruction of human artistry, the literal death of music? Or are we looking at the ultimate tool for unlocking human creativity? To figure out how we got here, and more importantly, where we're going, we're going to break this down into 5 parts. 1. The AI music explosion. 2. Existing music copyright rules. 3. Inspiration versus illegal copying. 4. AI voice cloning challenges. And finally, 5. Autonomous AI and creator pay. Okay, let's jump straight into section 1, the AI music explosion. So there's a core argument for why AI is actually a really positive force here, and it's because it shrinks the gap. You know, the gap between that brilliant, perfect idea you have in your head and the actual technical skill you have to pull it off in the real world. Think about it. A few hundred years ago, to just test out a musical idea, Mozart needed the resources to gather a full physical orchestra. Fast forward to more recently, the late producer Avicii revolutionized dance music, and his instrument was basically just a computer. Well, just like a computer was a tool for Avicii and an orchestra was a tool for Mozart, AI is a powerful new tool. It drastically lowers the technical barrier needed to express musical creativity, allowing literally anyone to generate a melody or a lyric simply by typing a prompt. Moving on to section 2, existing music copyright rules. Before we can really tackle the disruption of AI, we've got to understand the baseline, the foundational rules of the industry. The music industry already has rules for borrowing and sharing. First up is sampling. This is when you use both the actual original recording and the original composition. So, for example, when Doja Cat drops a new track and uses the actual audio recording of a classic Dionne Warwick song, that's sampling. She is legally required to pay for both that original recording and the original composition. Next, we have interpolation, which is slightly different. This is like when Ariana Grande sings a familiar melody from The Sound of Music, but she sings it and records it entirely herself. Because she isn't touching the original audio tape, she only pays the original composer, not the owner of the recording. And finally, there's covering. Think Miley Cyrus singing Dolly Parton's Jolene. She is re-recording an entire existing song from start to finish. And once again, the artist must pay the owner of the original composition. The big takeaway here: if you use someone else's specific, tangible work, there is a mechanism in place to ensure they get paid. But honestly, it's rarely that clear-cut. Even without AI in the mix, this whole system is a messy battleground. Sure, copyright protects the recording and the composition, but what about the general feel of a song? Pharrell and Robin Thicke actually lost a $5 million lawsuit just for copying the composition of a Marvin Gaye track. Ed Sheeran was dragged into court over a popular chord progression, though he ultimately won. And Olivia Rodrigo ended up handing over retroactive songwriting credits, which means a lot of royalties, to Taylor Swift because her songs had a similar vibe and sound. So we're already dealing with a fragile system built on human versus human lawsuits over very blurred lines. Which brings us to section 3, inspiration versus illegal copying. This is where AI just completely shatters that existing fragile legal framework we just talked about. Historically, the law basically puts music into 2 distinct boxes. First, you have the inspiration box. You don't have to pay a single dime for merely being inspired by the Beatles or taking influence from Whitney Houston's vocal style. That's free. It's how art naturally evolves. But then you have the copying box. You absolutely must pay if you cross that line into direct sampling, interpolating, or covering. But here is the real kicker. Current copyright law only judges the final output of a song, the actual audio that comes out of your speakers at the very end. The massive controversy with AI, however, is entirely about the input. To build a tool that can generate music, AI companies feed their software massive data sets containing thousands of copyrighted songs to learn from. So the multi-billion-dollar question is this. Is training a machine on thousands of copyrighted songs a form of illegal copying that demands payment? Or is it simply analyzing patterns? Is it functioning just like a human artist who listens to the radio to find digital inspiration? Right now, nobody is paying for this inspiration, and it's easily the biggest legal gray area in music today. All right, let's move to Section 4, AI voice cloning challenges. This legal gray area brings us straight to one of the most explosive and frankly personal trends out there right now, AI voice cloning. There's this sentiment echoing through the industry right now, which is people should have consent. If you want copyright, you don't want people to use your name. And that really hits the nail on the head. While anyone is legally allowed to parody a famous artist or even copy a basic catchphrase, artists are rightly demanding consent when it comes to their actual vocal likeness. I mean, your voice is deeply personal, right? It's not just a chord progression, it's your entire identity. So naturally, a lot of artists feel that AI voice clones are just drafting off their hard-earned name and likeness without any permission whatsoever. But then you have someone like Grimes, who has taken a completely different approach. Instead of fighting the tech, she leaned in and released her own AI voice tool called Tech. She clearly separates the human Grimes from the AI Grimes on platforms like Spotify. She requires people to get consent to use her likeness, but if they do get it, she automatically splits the royalties with the fans or creators who use her cloned voice. She's even planning to release an album pitting her own music against the best AI tracks made using her voice. It's a wildly fascinating experiment in how to embrace the technology while making sure the original creator still gets paid. And that leads us to our final section, number 5, autonomous AI and creator pay. 1 billion. It's a staggering number. The CEO of Spotify actually warned recently of a very real near-future scenario where fully autonomous AI agents, acting not just as simple tools, but as independent creators, could literally flood streaming platforms with 1 billion generated songs. Think about it. They wouldn't need to sleep. They wouldn't need to eat. They would just constantly generate tracks and test their way into finding out exactly what goes viral. When autonomous AI is pumping out music at that kind of massive, unprecedented scale, we face a hugely difficult challenge. Who actually owns the IP? Is it the AI itself? Well, current law says no. Is it the person who typed the prompt into the AI? If platforms are suddenly drowned in 1 billion AI songs, how on earth do we structure the economics of streaming so that we can continue to fairly compensate actual, living, breathing human creators? We are running a very real risk of burying human artists under a mountain of machine-generated audio. And that brings us to the core of what music actually is. Ultimately, music is how we share what it feels like to be alive, right? It's human expression. It's awe, love, joy, fear, and jealousy all woven into sound waves. We use it to communicate between our lonely little brains. So this leaves us with one final, kind of existential thought to ponder. If you hear a generated track and it genuinely moves you, if it makes you dance or sing out loud or even cry, does its artificial origin actually matter to you? Thanks for joining me for this explainer. I really hope it gave you a new lens to view the future of the music industry.